Hey everybody, Jason Hawes here. So today we're doing a 360 tour in Burlington, New Jersey of a place called West Hill Manor. It's a beautiful property. There's been a lot of restoration being done to bring it back. We'll get into a little of the history. It was built in 1797 to 1799 by Samuel and Susanna Emlen. And Susanna is actually one of the first documented survivors of breast cancer. Here's a real kick. There was no anesthesia. There was nothing. And they did the surgery right here in this home. So welcome to West Hill Manor. Here we go.
You rang?
JV.
You know, that scared the shit out of me.
Did it?
Yes, it did.
So this is the historic West Hill Manor. And again, it was built in 1797 to 1799 by Samuel and Susanna Emlen. They were pretty much trying to escape the Black Plague, right?
Yeah, there was disease rampant in Philadelphia, and they decided to move to the country where they didn't have to interact with as many people.
And this place is set on acres and acres of land. Now, it's being restored and brought back. As you can see, it's beautiful property. The Masons actually have a big connection to this property. So
Yeah, they actually used this building as some offices for some of their leaders for several years. Then they moved the offices back to Trenton, and this house sat vacant for some time.
So Susanna Emlen, pretty much one of the first documented cases of breast surgery survival. The surgery was done here, upstairs, in her bedroom. We'll take you up there in a minute, but the place is amazing. But I mean, to think, no anesthesia, nothing.
We hear horror stories all the time. If you're into history, you know that during the Civil War, they would amputate legs and arms without anesthesia. And in this case, it was a far more complex surgery. No anesthesia, no antiseptic, no antibiotics, nothing that we take for granted today. And she survived it, which was a miracle in itself.
For 4 years, she lived after the surgery. But yeah, they're one of the rooms upstairs. They prepped her in, and then they blindfolded her and walked her from one of the rooms into her bedroom because they didn't want her to be terrified seeing the instruments that they were using. And then they performed the surgery right there on her bed. But anyways, this is the downstairs area. It's definitely a nice little escape from Philadelphia.
It's also a really interesting construction for the year. I mean, the ceilings are very high.
They are, yeah. And usually they try to keep ceilings lower in the New England, or at least on the northeast, because they try to keep the heat in.
And it's really in great shape.
It is. And this place also has ties to another president. You have Eliza Gurney, who was very close friends with Mr. Abraham Lincoln, who you can see right here in this picture. And some people state that when Abraham Lincoln was shot, he had a letter in his front pocket that was from Eliza Gurney. And now there's copies of that letter here they have, but they don't know what happened to the original letter because they think Robert, Abraham's son, took the letter and got rid of it because Mrs. Lincoln was a rather jealous individual.
Yeah, Mary Todd Lincoln was known to be jealous, but she also had some other interesting personality quirks, which would have made that maybe uncomfortable. So the story is that Robert Todd Lincoln took the letter out of his father's coat as he died.
So, all right. So this is downstairs. We'll take you through the kitchen and the dining room, and then we'll take you upstairs.
By the way, here's the letter.
Oh,
this is a
here's
copy
a letter.
of the letter.
Get right over there for you. So from Elizabeth P. Gurney, my esteemed friend. So,
Oh, actually, this is a letter from Abraham Lincoln back to Eliza Gurney.
So this is, yeah, all right. So that's not the letter, but it
is a letter.
It's a letter. All right, so Such a beautiful property, smack dab here in Burlington, New Jersey. This is the kitchen, but also our command center. The basement, you know, we should show them the basement.
We should definitely go to the basement.
We're gonna go to the basement. Might be a little loud down there, but here's an interesting fact. Well, not even a fact, a belief. So they believe that this property was part of the Underground Railroad. Now, here's the reason. The owners, Susanna and Samuel, were very good friends with a store owner here in town, and the store owner was part of the Underground Railroad, and he had a hidden tunnel that went from his shop, his store, down to the river for people to escape. Here, they have 2 secret underground tunnels. They've since been closed up, but we'll show you where they are. But they used to go from here out to the barn, which again would give the ability to escape. Now, there's no documentation to say that this place was part of the Underground Railroad, but it's highly believed that it was.
The circumstances would make you believe that, given the way it was constructed and the fact they were close friends with the apothecary owner, that was known to be an Underground Railroad stop. It makes a lot of sense.
All right, so let's go check out the basement. Turn on some lights here because it gets rather dark down there and spooky. Again, there's going to be a lot of machine noise down here, but this area right here is believed to have been the entrance to those tunnels, which would have given them the ability to get out of here and get over to the barn in case somebody was coming or somebody was looking for them. So
yeah, it was a federal offense to harbor escaped slaves, even in the North. And so if law enforcement was coming to your property and you were helping runaway slaves, they needed a way that, not just for the slaves themselves, but also for the family harboring them, they needed a way to get away so that they wouldn't be caught with the family.
So, as you see, it's a rather large basement. It's a rather large house. So. Now, there's a lot of claims throughout this entire property. Well, there were a lot of claims down here too, right?
Yeah, a lot of whispers, a lot of noises, a lot of things happening on all the floors, every floor of this building.
Down here is kind of tough to investigate because, I mean, again, we're dealing with this machine's noise, and a lot of it can't be turned off. Yeah, there's nothing creepy about that random chairs.
I know. What is it about empty chairs that are creepy?
What is it about orange empty chairs?
Orange empty chairs in a basement room.
And that's where they hide their vampire.
Oh my God.
Down here in the basement. No, that's a lift system. They must have had some sort of a heater or something on that.
It's in really good shape, though.
Oh, it really is.
I mean, they've obviously done some work down here, but the original parts are still in good shape.
Yeah. All right. Now we'll take you to the second floor and show you where Susanna Emlen slept, but also where she had her surgery. Oh, and by the way, thank you all for helping Jim and me hit 100,000 plus subscribers. Woo woo! Woo woo! We owe it all to you. We love doing this, but we love doing it, and we love that you guys love watching it. So here's their dining room. Some pretty epic fireplaces.
Yeah, I don't know how many, like 12 fireplaces?
Yeah, the thing is, back then, I mean, that was the only way. Fireplaces are only like 12% efficient, not even.
Right.
And yeah. They're out there walking on this thing that's going to be blocking the camera. He's picking up sticks.
Mm.
All right, so here we go. Let's go to the second floor. Now, we're lucky enough to have full control of this property for the next few days. claims of voices, shadow figures, full body apparitions, furniture moving.
Yeah.
So the ghost of an interior
And
decorator.
not just hearing this furniture moving. Some of the investigators have actually gone to look into a room. They heard furniture moving, and the furniture has been displaced in that room.
So the ghost of an interior decorator. That's what we're saying. All right. So
I wonder if she works for cheap or he works for sheep.
maybe.
I need an interior decorator.
Get some of this stuff. What's the story behind this, Jim?
So this, most of it anyway, I don't know about all of it, most of these artifacts were found on the property during various excavations and work that was done. There's musket balls, there's parts of uniforms, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Even the small rooms get a fireplace.
Yeah.
All right. So this room right here was the room that Susanna Emlen was prepped in for her surgery. This is where they were getting her all ready.
Can you imagine knowing you're about to go into a room and they're going to cut you open and you're going to feel every bit of it? That alone is terrifying.
Again, no anesthesia, nothing. I mean, it's crazy.
They had to blindfold her.
Yeah. And some of the coolest thing in these old homes, now we have shades where we just pull down. But this is how they would do it. I mean, the craftsmanship that went into this stuff, it's amazing. All right, now, the room that Susanna had her surgery in. Here we are. This was Susanna Emlen's room. Now, this is not the original bed, but that's where it was. So again, after she had her breast surgery, she lived for 4 years, I believe, after. You can see right here on the board, gives a breakdown of the doctors and her experiences. The surgery was performed in this room on June 4th, 1814. Wow. She wrote to her father, William Dillwyn, expressing her feelings that this trial was sent in love and mercy for my refinement. It was performed at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. There were 4 doctors here.
Oh, 3 of them probably had to hold her down.
Yeah. Oh, man.
One of the things that makes it also so unique is that after the surgery, once she was able to think clearly and function clearly, she started writing about her experiences to her father. And those letters became an important volume, basically, about the survival of a breast cancer patient in the early 19th century. I think she was the only one. Certainly the first.
Amazing. And traumatizing all at the same time. Look at how thick these walls are. This feeds into another bedroom. As you can see, it's an old bed frame, has the rope on it. And, just because I know very little about it because of how old they are, I'm going to ask Jim. Jim, when you have to set up your mattress, how do you usually tighten up the string?
I tied it up with my... I was going to say something that I probably shouldn't say.
So, how do you?
Yeah, I know.
How do you actually do the bed?
Yeah.
How do you tighten up the strings?
Well, I'll have to ask my domestic help because they do it.
You're not going to show us
No,
how.
I'm not going to.
All
I do
right,
want to comment on this, though.
Tool right there.
I want to comment on this. Oh, is that what you were trying to get me to do?
I was trying to get you to actually show them. Yeah, we'll do that in a second.
This is a marble fireplace.
That is incredible.
Which must mean this may have been Samuel's room?
Maybe. Well, it was very common for people to have that.
And connected to Susanna's room? Yeah.
That's wild. All right, but anyways,
Okay,
on the string bed, in all seriousness, this device right here was, you'd have a mattress, of course.
Okay, in all seriousness, how does it work, though? What do you turn this on? Are there pegs or something?
No.
I don't know.
I think you put it over on some of the where it
Like with the rope?
crisscrosses. Yeah.
Like this?
Yep. To tighten them, and
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm just making that up.
You are making that
I
up.
am.
You almost had me going.
I kind of want to see Jim sit in that chair.
I was trying to figure out, is that a chair?
It appears to be a chair of some sort.
It's got to be like a special. Maybe you sit this way. I can't imagine. I won't sit in it because I'll break it. But
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine it being very comfortable.
No, not at all. All right, so this is the second floor. Again, they hear people walking, full-body apparitions, furniture moving on its own. All these things. Now let's head to the third floor, which is weird because we have half of a window here.
Yeah, the floor kind of cuts right through the window.
Yeah. We come up here to the third, and boy, it is hot.
It's hot up here.
Well, you have a railing here, so assuming that wall didn't exist. All right, what do we got over here? Hang on. Okay, it's just like a crawl space. Jim, even the attic has fireplaces.
Yeah. Got to be 12, maybe more.
This is the toy room.
I have to say, my favorite game over here, which we discovered earlier. Can you see what this says?
Donkey racing.
I thought it said Donkey Rancher.
All right. Thanks for joining us.